Hello everybody, thank you very much for stopping by for another video. Today I want to show you how I make these cute little fabric butterflies. The technique itself, the origami style folding, has been around forever, but I've put my own style on it and added embellishments and just thought I'd show you how to do them. Once you have chosen your fabrics, what you need to do is decide on the size, and there's a general rule of thumb that I find works really well. So you decide on the length and then you deduct 30%, and that will give you the height. So for example, if your piece is 5 inches long, then that would make it 3.5 inches high. And that would be a really good starting point. I think that one was 5 by 3.5. And then you can vary from there. So if you have, I don't know, for example, 4.5, and then you end up with a really crooked number, you can round it up or down to the nearest 1/4 inch just to make it a bit easier for cutting. And those little variations then make them all individual. So, you know, that doesn't matter at all. So to start with, put right sides together, and you can use clips if you like. So I've gone all the way around and left a little opening, and don't forget to backstitch at either end. And next we want to clip the corners quite close to the stitching, but obviously being careful not to go through it. And that will reduce the bulk on the inside and give us really nice crisp corners. Right, now it's time to turn this out. I always love this part. And if you have a stiletto type aid, you can use that, or a purple fang, I think it's called, but be really careful not to poke through. So, and now we obviously need to close that opening. And the first thing is just to give it a press. Before you start any stitching, this is the time when you need to decide which fabric you want on show. So you have a front fabric, which is this green, for example, and a reverse fabric, which is this peach. Because I've got a yellow one there already, I'm gonna have this on the outside, and that also determines the thread choices. And I'm gonna use these 3, and for this one I'm not gonna hand stitch, but I'm gonna do some zigzag stitches in each of the colors with varying widths and lengths. Just a tip, I always start and finish my sewing in the middle of one of these long edges, because we can hide those later on, so none of that will be visible. So this being the outside of my fabric, I then fold it over and over again, just finger pressing a little bit of a crease in there, and this is what you should have now. So this is the fold, and then you have all the open sides here. And what you now want to be doing is folding this up and doing the same on the other side. What helped me at this stage a lot to get a really nice symmetrical shape is to take a clip and keep these corners together. And then you can also put another clip in the middle. Just make sure the sides are touching. And now, again, we will finger press. We can get a really nice and even V shape. And you can also then fix this with another clip down here. And now we can just double check. So this is where I stopped and started. And I can choose to have that at the back. I'm going to move this over and I'm going to remove that clip. And you want to be taking this corner here and fold it down. And you can see how you can already see this gorgeous 3D shape that we're creating. And depending where you put this, again, you can change the shape of the butterfly wings. And I quite like if there's a little bit of a gap here to make that wing distinct, you know, the lower part. And put a clip on there just to fix it in place while we do the other side. Sometimes you have to just jiggle things about a little bit until you're happy with the symmetry and the shape. And then you can just fix this with another clip. You can also at this stage just sew this little gap shut. I like to hide my thread and just come in from somewhere in there, making sure that the needle isn't poking through on the other side. And you just want to be grabbing literally a thread or so just to join these sides together. And you can either leave it as it is, or I've added a little pearl in there, some rose vermeil beads, and here I've actually not fixed the bottom one, so it's left dangling. And I think these look really nice, these little embellishments, colour coordinated. So you want to take the thread back on the inside and come out about here. And then just a fraction to the side. Just to fix this wing in place. And add another one for good measure. Close to where you came up before. And back through. And if you like, you can also do a little tack on that corner here. Again, I'm putting the thread through on the inside so it's not going to show. you just want the tiniest stitch, because it just disappears into the fabric if your thread is, well, sort of matching, if it's quite close in colour. And then just do the same thing on the other side as well. This is the finished butterfly, so I've added a bead down there, another glass bead up here, and added French knots with an embroidery floss in the corners. So you can see there is so much you can do as far as embellishments go, with beads, with different threads, different stitches. So there's loads of things that you can do with these butterflies. You can actually make a garland with them. I mean, that would look absolutely gorgeous. Or you can add them onto gift wrapping. You could put a brooch needle on the back and wear it, or put it on a bag as a charm with the needle at the back. So lots and lots of different possibilities. I'm sure you can think of lots more. Thank you so much for watching, and for all the lovely comments that you keep leaving. They mean the world to me. They really do. Thank you very much, and happy butterfly stitching. See you next time. Bye bye.